and slowly he walked. Is it time to go out the door? Still not sure, are you? Well, now we're sure. We're both sure now.
Is that a yes? You want to go out the door? You woke us up before 5 o'clock. Rex heard the thunder before we heard the thunder, and he woke us up with that kind of bark, but a lot louder and right in our ear. What about you? He was just watching out the window this morning. Wasn't that fun? Kind of fun, except it was a little early, and we didn't really forecast it. 53 degrees, 7:23, April 30th. Were those the last of the April showers that came with loud noises? Electric. Lots of thunder this morning. Reported in 6 states and 1 Canadian province. Just after 5 a.m. That was a little perturbation. Moving along a very almost imperceptible boundary high in the sky. Down near the ground, the boundary was quite notable. Steve? You gonna join us? Good things to do. I guess the elephant in the room, really, is the 1040 millibar high pressure system way up in northeastern Canada. And it is heavy duty. That's 30.7 on your standard barometer. And cold air is heavy and dense, and it tries to undermine warmth. And that's what's happened this morning. When I talk about undermining, I mean cold air came in from the east and the northeast, and warmer air up in the sky forced to go over the top, and that lift creates the dynamic to produce thunderstorms. I would love to talk about how peaceful and quiet it is, and I could talk quiet, but these jets, there's always something. There's always noise, isn't there? Yes. And you're a part of it, Tim. You're part of it. Got the grill going last night. That was fun. Don't have time to talk about all the things I love to talk about. Dewdrops on rose petals. Very pretty. Oh, and there's the sun. Yeah, the sun's coming right out, and we may end up with more showers and thunderstorms again today. Let's tally up what we got last night. It was a strip of rain from central New York, Milton, New York, 1.51, Milton, Massachusetts, 0.61, and I love when the observers put a comment in on the Coco Raz community collaborative rain, hail, snow observations from weather geeks from coast to coast worldwide. We're all in the same club. And this one says, woke up at about 2:22, the thunder, peanut-sized hail, and the wind came in from the east and the temperature went down 11 degrees. I love that. So that was the front, the backdoor front going all the way into Milton, New York, where it was in Milton, Massachusetts yesterday. All right, how about our rain gauge here? 0.36. That's about 0.34 more than I expected for rainfall last night. It's hard to say all the things that caused this. I talk about that 1040 high. How about over the ocean? There's a gale center. It says absorbed gale center, and there's a big occlusion, and it's not really moving. It's kind of pivoting around, and that creates a block in the atmosphere that help push the colder air down from the north. And it's only at the low levels of the atmosphere. If we look at the vertical azimuth display, there's the velocity, I always say that, it's called VAD, velocity azimuth display. And you see at the very bottom there, those barbs coming in from the east. That's the low-level chill kind of coming in. It's not just because it's the oceans, because it's a cold, high-pressure system up there. Anyhow, up about 5,000 feet, then your air comes around from the west, and then up around 10,000 to 15,000 feet west-northwest. So that's why those storms were moving from northwest to southeast, even though the air in your backyard was coming from the east. So get that? The air coming from this way down here, and the air coming from this way up there. And that's that overrunning and a battle of the air masses yesterday at, what was it, about 2 o'clock. It was 82 degrees in Danbury, Connecticut, and it was 44 degrees in Middlebury, Vermont. That is a front. Where are you going, Steve? You gonna do some stand-up paddling this morning? Am I a Yankee cluttered dude or what? Yeah. This is pretty Yankee of me. All right, Steve. All right, watch Steve move around here. How am I ever going to tighten up? I can't tighten up my weather forecasts when there's so much involved. Like a live cat. This is a Maine Coon cat, Steve. He just kind of thrust himself into this whole out the door weather and more thing about a year ago, because he just kept showing up every morning when T-Rex and I had this gig going. He wanted part of the action. So guess what? You're going to go and get tied up to this rail, which was a fence. Don Kent had his swimming pool right here. There were the steps. And then there were railroad tracks down from the house. They built their masts for their sailboats, and they pulled their boats up here, up the hill, and for the winter, and they built their masts, and they put them back down on the railroad tracks. And there was also a pump down there for the salt water to be pumped up into the pool. Anyhow, we have some relics here. And Steve, we are just stewards of the land, right? This is called knotweed. I don't know, it must have blown up here. Oh. Knotweed is an invasive, and it's taken over the world. I kind of think maples are invasive too. And then those are pussy willows right there. And this is a pussy willow that I started right here. And if you want your own pussy willow, just let me know, and there's one for you right here. Steve, that's about the end, okay? All right, you can go a little farther. Would you like to do a weather forecast? So would I, if I could only get the 24-hour forecast right. And generally speaking, we're going to be near this boundary for the foreseeable future. And I think we do get a sunny break today, and there's also a chance of more showers and thunderstorms, but it looks most likely it's going to happen again tonight. And another perturbation, nocturnal convection. That's when it thunders at night is possible. Tonight, there's a batch going right over us, and we're very close to the boundary. I mean, tomorrow, I think we may have a day like today where you start off with thunderstorms, and then you end up with a drier day, and temperatures near 60. Not a lot of wind around here, but it's very subtle whether it's going to come from the north or the west. It makes a huge difference, or the east, for your temperature. That's it, bro. That's as far as you can go. Sterling, Massachusetts, I choose because it's kind of an elevated town in central Massachusetts, north central Massachusetts, kind of representative of New England. I can't do a forecast for every single town, but there's Sterling. And the Euro says all of a sudden now it's going to pop back to 70 with sunshine. I don't think so. I'm not quite sure about that. Let's go to the Euro now. And that other shorter range one was the NAM, which didn't do a very good job, by the way. So that's why I didn't talk much about it. Anyhow, here's the Euro showing the showers, thunderstorms tonight, tomorrow morning, and then the boundary looks like it wants to lift north a little bit. And on Thursday, look at that, there's a low coming across northern New Hampshire and Maine, where it'll be cool and wet, and supposedly parts of southern and western New England will have a wind from the west, with temperatures jumping into the 70s and the 80s. Remember, those 80s are not far to the south. And then that goes away, and then Friday, maybe a wind from the west. It's kind of a subtle boundary, but I think it could be a little brighter. This is a real tough call. I would probably trend a little south with those two events. And then Saturday, high pressure still building to our east and north, so it looks like a fair day with ridging aloft and a high pressure system. We could get some sunshine, and temperatures could start in the 30s and 40s, but go up into the 60s and 70s away from the ocean. So that's an improvement for the Saturday forecast. Then Sunday, there's kind of a cold front coming at us from the west and a warm front from the south, and that means it could be wet and chilly near the south coast. This has been a moving target. A few days ago it was for Saturday, now it's for Sunday. I'm talking about the possible wet weather. So right now the pick of the weekend looks like it's going to be Saturday. And then let's see, Monday, Tuesday, here it gets kind of tricky. Let's stop at Wednesday. There's still a boundary very close by, but you see that 570 18Z Wednesday. That's 2 p.m. Wednesday. Here we go with those 7-8 day projections, which have not worked out at all in the last couple of weeks. I like to show you what's going to be proposed by the guidance and then how it changes every day. So right now that 570 means that's a thick atmosphere with the 500 millibar level up at 570 decameters, and the warm air is not very dense, so that's high up for the 500 millibar. And what that means is it could be near 90 degrees. There's a rule of thumb. You can take the thickness 570 and add 20 to the 70 part and come up with a temperature of 90 if that were to verify. But notice there are a bunch of isobars to our north and two cold fronts coming in here probably Thursday and Friday. If this verifies, I should always say if this verifies, and it will be dramatically cooler again with another backdoor front the middle or second half of next week with a real temperature gradient battle going on between 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s to the north. And that's the classic setup for springtime here in the Northeast. Winter is reluctant to give way. And then after that, Thursday, Friday, now you have next week a snowstorm in the Northwest again, tending to be warmer in the East. But it looks like there are going to be many challenges to our forecast just about every 18 hours. And I really appreciate the comments I get. Someone just said they found the channel last night and said a very positive outlook. And I really appreciate that, because that's what I do like, that I can say whatever I want here. And I do try and be optimistic and not an end of the world kind of guy. And I see the love and the beauty that's around, except for I get so frustrated by noise. T-Rex barking at thunder this morning. All right, so our in more yesterday, bird watching, and the neighbor up the hill is getting a new retaining wall in his backyard. That's a view right there, and then maybe a time lapse from yesterday. And of course, plenty of Steve and a little bit of Mitt. All right, talk to you again tomorrow. Oh yeah, one more thing. T-Rex sniffing around for the critters. So the critter cam was right there, and of course I took it in last night to try and upload it, and something went in and out of there last night and we missed it. All right, more on the critter cam coming soon. More technology, so pretty. By the way, altocumulus, altostratus, waves, blue sky. Just about 9:30 in the morning, and the air just started moving in from the north. 65 degrees, gorgeous. How many hours are we gonna get of this? I don't think too many. We've got cold air advection returning at lower levels of the atmosphere, undermining the warmth, creating these stunning sky waves. And you can even see some convection blossoming. What do you want? You want to bark at it? He doesn't even know what he's barking at. He just likes going out the door. Anyhow, the air just turned around. It's coming in from the east now, probably for most of the rest of the week, Rex. The temperature spiked at 9:20. It was 71.6 degrees in Boston. 71.6, so that 72, right? And then at 9:54, it is 59 degrees. So we've lost about 13 degrees in a half hour or so with this wind shift. But at least there's some blue sky up there. So if we can keep the sky blue, that's still pretty nice, especially on the other side of the house. The wind turned, but the sun's still out. That makes it a little more tolerable, doesn't it? A little backdoor cold front. Smell them? Yeah. Yeah, Rex. I'm in shorts. All of a sudden, those white butterflies are back everywhere. Can't remember the name of them. What a coincidence with the white blooming flowers. No coincidences in nature. It's all a rhythm. What are they called? Cabbage butterflies, maybe? Do you remember, Rex? We knew it last year. And Great Hill got its first mow of the season. Let's see if we'll have green grass all summer like we did last year. Almost impossible to have as much rain this year as we had last year. Almost impossible. Because it was a record rainy year. I like the pattern where he comes down, does a little J turn right here. T-Rex likes it too. It smells good, feels good. Yeah, I know, I gotta get him a new leash. What kind of leash? I guess I should get him a new Bruins leash because he's got a Celtics collar on. Quiet blue jay. What does that mean? Starting a family over here somewhere? He's like, I am not quiet. Pretty blossoms. Yeah, there's the mate. dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? It's down there. That's a Blue Jay and a 747. And the sound of a T-Rex.
Jay, grackle, sky waves, clouds. Thermometer in the sunshine says it's 70 something. I don't think it's really 70 something, but it's warmed up since the cold front went by this morning. Hi, Mitt. You haven't been on in a while. And T-Rex, you ready for your 3 o'clock? I'm just gonna go out here for a second. I'll come right back up and get you. When we went out earlier, even though the front had gone by, the sun was out and the tulips were open. I think it's so fascinating how tulips open and close. It's not raining. Maybe they thought it was going to rain. There was something on the radar going by. But they're open when it's sunny. And even in the house, they open and close. Yeah, some rain just went by over there. Can't see over there, though, can you? Oh, we got a helper now. Is that what you're doing? Helping? Alec just had the front go by. Did you know that? What front? That front. Oh. Just wanted to find an excuse to get you an out the door weather and more. How about a little Lucy fix? How about a little Lucy fix? What are you doing? What are you doing? You come here. You come here. You come here. Do that whole jumping up in the air, batting nothing there thing you do. Quite a terrace, huh? Not too bad a view. Sit down that tree right there, that's all. 420, activity, little neighborhood cleanup. This is a spade fork, and this is Tim throwing a spade fork. And that's a T-Rex. No T-Rexes were hurt. May have got a worm though. And by popular demand, we've got a Mitt sighting. Hey Mitt, how's it going? You can try and follow us out if we go out? Steve's been pacing here by the door all afternoon. Now I'm tripping over him and he's not going out. 62 degrees, nice recovery from falling back into the 50s when the wind picked up from the east. At 426. That's the Massachusetts right there, isn't it? Thank you, Squirrel Pants. That's a handle on YouTube. Not making much noise, but kind of blends with the birds. That's a catbird. That's a cat. On the last Monday of April, we started the day with water waves generated by a ferry going by. It had been calm on the water this morning, and then the wind picked up from the east, but it seems to have eased a little bit. And look at these waves in the sky. Sort of like rolling a pencil on the table. The table sits still, you take your hand and roll it across. So you got one speed below the cloud, another speed above the cloud, and often cannot tell the difference between whether they're parallel or perpendicular to the flow. But beautiful sky waves. So why don't we blend natural sound and Captain Space-Time on the piano and play it out with the time lapse for our finale of and more and more and more. Cow.
the big one.